Lots happening right now in our region.
Perch patterns have been working really well.
The bite has been good.
Just keep snapping it off the bottom.
The down imaging, the side imaging. There's a lot of different variations and different ways to rig this.
Oh, yeah! Look at this giant.
They are heavy.
Oh, look at that.
On this week's show, we're talking walleye magic. This is AnglingBuzz TV. I'm Troy Lindner.
And I'm Al Lindner.
Welcome back to an exciting season of AnglingBuzz. The first show, we're talking walleye. I happen to have a walleye guru here with me, my dad, Al. And one of the first questions that come to mind, I guess, would be, over the last 10 years, what do you feel has had the biggest impact on walleye fishing?
Troy, that's really easy. AIS, invasive species, things like zebra mussels. They've cleared up our water environments. We got cleaner water. We're getting more weed growth than ever before. Fish are adapting to these changes. And the second thing is the growth in popularity of artificial baits in the world of walleyes. I love it, man.
Yeah, AIS is definitely impacting a lot of species nationwide, west coast to east coast. And right now we're focusing on walleye. Let's take a closer look at some walleye magic.
There's a growing army of anglers practically manic about all things walleye. Who doesn't live for the bait-thumping, rod-pumping, head-shaking action and flicker of that white-tip tail? The payoff's pretty good, too. It's hard to beat fresh walleye, fried, broiled, blackened, or baked. The challenge, too, is part of the fun. A lot of times, we have to dig deep in the playbook to crack a bite. So, when everything does come together, it's a pretty good feeling. Yes, at times, walleye can be a fickle fish. But today's anglers have an ever-growing arsenal of fish-catching tools, techniques, and tactics at their disposal. Now combine that with plenty of on-the-water experience and you've got the recipe for walleye magic. If there's a walleye fishing must-have, it's GPS mapping, an honest-to-goodness game changer. Companies like LakeMaster and Navionics have greatly sped up the time it used to take walleye anglers to learn a lake. And once you find them, new boat control technology like trolling motors with electronic anchoring and hands-free trolling features definitely stack the odds in the angler's favor. But location and boat control are still only parts of the walleye puzzle. You still have to catch them. Successful walleye anglers have learned to fish power and finesse, drawing reaction strikes when walleyes aren't hungry or quickly capitalizing on a bite when the feed is on. And in the year 2018, artificial baits are not a walleye fishing exception, they're the rule. Sure, live bait's still part of the program, but anglers have built the confidence to know that it is by no means essential. Live bait jigging and rigging still produce, but these days we have other plays that will win the walleye game too. All combined, it would no doubt look like walleye magic to the anglers of yesteryear.
Yes, over the past few years, the advancement in electronics has been absolutely incredible with the mega imaging, down imaging, side imaging to be able to locate the structure that hold walleye.
Key thing to remember about walleyes, they can be in a lot of different places at the same time. You could have a shallow water weed bite, you could have fish on 25-foot deep humps, and you can have some walleye suspended. This is all happening at the same time. Walleyes move a lot. They're here today, they're gone tomorrow. To stay on the fish, you've got to use your electronics and be familiar with everything that they're capable of doing.
Absolutely true. Hey, after this short break, we have our highlight destination feature, as well as the first of our Buzz Bite reports as Angling Buzz continues.
You have a choice, turf or surf. It's fishing season. Welcome to the outdoors. We're baiting, casting, drifting, and limiting out. The outdoors never felt so good. Catch, release, and keepers. The outdoors never tasted so good. It's fishing season. We are outdoors. Mills Fleet Farm.
Some lodges are just a cut above. Hawk Lake is one of those. They're the only Orvis-endorsed lodge in all of Ontario, and they're the 4-time finalists for the best Orvis lodge in all of North America. They feature cordon bleu trained chefs and offer some of the best freshwater fishing in the world. You can target trophy walleye, smallmouth bass, pike and lake trout on any of their 19 private lakes. Whether you fish with traditional gear or love fly fishing, Hawk Lake has you covered.
Sportsmen, we're truck people, we're gear people, we're Radco people. Top brands like Lear, Access, WeatherTech, Kurtz and more. Price match guarantee, exceptional service, professional installation. Researched, tested, approved. Radco. When your truck looks good, you look good.
Looking for the perfect fishing vacation? Leech Lake, Minnesota. There's over 112,000 acres of water to explore with fantastic walleye, bass, pike, panfish, and trophy muskies. The fishing opportunities are endless. Leech Lake has it all with over 30 resorts, lodges, campgrounds, and hotels line its pristine shores. Plan your trip. It's Minnesota's original up-north vacation destination.
Welcome back to AnglingBuzz TV. Right now we're going to look at some top walleye destinations through the Dakotas, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan. And I believe you're familiar with some of these waters.
Hey, I've been fortunate enough in my career to fish on every one of these systems, and each one of them has their own personality, so to speak. But one thing they all got in common, the walleye fishery is getting better and better every year.
Starting out east, Michigan offers many great walleye waters throughout the upper and lower peninsulas. But when it comes to early season numbers and pure trophy potential, it's hard to top the Detroit River, where the walleye season never closes. And from what we're hearing on social media, vertical jigging, heavy lead and plastics, and hand lining the current continue to put big gravel lizards in the boat. At nearly 140,000 acres, Lake Winnebago is the Badger State's largest inland lake, drawing anglers from across the region. The attraction? Winnebago's a walleye factory, and hard to beat this time of year, when you can find fish in the Fox and Wolf River tributaries, upper marshes, as well as the main lake. Minnesota's expansive Lake Vermilion has all the stuff walleye need. Oodles of forage, rock, weeds, sand, gravel, and the wind and water movement required for successful spawns each year. What's the best way to catch vermilion eyes? Pretty much any way you want, from rigging, jigging, trolling, to jig wrapping. Minnesota walleye anglers are looking forward to another great Minnesota fishing opener on Leech, where fish are abundant on relatively shallow flats, rocks, and points throughout the lake, with plenty of eaters and good numbers of larger fish too. Definitely a hot spot. Anglers can't turn around without discovering a new favorite walleye lake in west central Minnesota's Alexandria region. With some 400 lakes in the area, there's a lot to explore. The largest lake in the region, Miltona, is simply one of those rare lakes where you can catch walleye shallow to deep in the same day. There's plenty of walleyes in and around the lake's green weeds, as well as the hard bottom humps, and plenty of big fish potential. From Montana's Fort Peck to Lake Sakakawea in North Dakota to Oahe and Francis Case in South Dakota, the Missouri River system is one of the country's top walleye destinations. While many anglers rush to the big water reservoirs, there are countless miles of river too, where you can fish all day without seeing another boat. Heading north into Ontario's Sunset Country, Hawk Lake is known to produce some true trophies. Instead of a walleye fishery where you would catch hundreds of small walleyes, You are targeting fish that typically start at 24 inches and go up from there.
Just gorgeous fish.
Hawk Lake Lodge offers 5-star food and accommodations, along with an excellent opportunity for monster eyes. It's classic Canadian walleye fishing at its finest.
That's the right side.
Well, this definitely has been a late season, to put it lightly. And some of the waters, you can fish walleyes right now.
Absolutely. A lot of the fish are going to be in shallow water, 10 feet or less. Allure choices, jigs are going to be a mainstay. You're going to be catching a lot of males at this time of the year. Later in the evening, you'll get some bigger females, particularly if you start throwing a crankbait around. Key thing to remember.
Yeah, it is fun to fish them shallow like that. And right now, we're joining Nick Lindner with the first of our BuzzBite reports.
So the big elephant in the room right now is the late spring we're having here in the upper Midwest. But for our first report, we're gonna go to Jason Mitchell on the Missouri River, where there's no ice and the walleye season never closes.
Out here in the Missouri River system, this has been one of the hottest games in town. Been running up by the spillway. There's been a really good bite up there, and then just fishing off the old creek channel, pulling lead core and either Salmo hornets, or some folks are pulling Berkeley flicker shads. Those have been catching fish, but you know, just dragging jigs or dragging lead core has been the ticket. And anywhere from 20 to maybe 27 feet of water on average. I'd anticipate once this sun warms this water up that these fish are going to start pushing up a lot shallower. And then if you go further north up on the Missouri River up by Bismarck, you know, they're catching fish up there too. And so Missouri River, you know, no closed season, people are starting to get boats out, and there's been some good reports. I'm seeing some pictures on Facebook and things, and so, you know, I would say good or decent fishing out here. And obviously, you know, there's still people that are chasing ice as well. So.
Thanks, Jason. So now for our next report, we're heading over to the Alexandria region of Minnesota with Joe Segura.
Like most anglers around the state, I'm hoping my walleye waters are going to be ice-free come opener. A couple weeks ago, I would have said no chance. We had ice castles out, trucks on the ice, 30 inches of clear, hard ice. Now the strong sun and is really taking a beating on that ice, and it's dark blue, rotten ice, pulled away from shore. There's even some small lakes that are wide open already, with that have a lot of current through them, including the chain of lakes has a lot of open water because of the moving water between the lakes. Around the shorelines there, a lot of open water around the edges, and we'll just keep getting more and more of that over the next week or so here. And I would say by next week we're going to have a number of lakes open. So. But concentrate on those smaller lakes come opener. Those are the ones that are the warmest, and they're going to be probably doing the best here come opener.
Yes, what an insane winter that we've had. Thankfully, warm temperatures are here, and we've been losing ice quickly. Now stay tuned, because we have more BuzzBite reports to come as Angling Buzz continues.
Sportfish Michigan is your #1 source for top charter captains and fishing guides in Michigan. Our network of professionals are full-time anglers with years of experience providing customers with the best possible fishing trip services. Fish for trout, salmon, steelhead on Lake Michigan or its famous tributary rivers, the Traverse City area's world-class smallmouth bass, walleye fishing on the Detroit River and Saginaw Bay, or northern Michigan's spectacular ice fishing. We do it all. Sportfish Michigan. Get out. Get bit.
If you're looking at this, how do you know it's not this? If you see this, how do you know it's not actually this? Trust your AquaView and you'll see the real underwater world. AquaView leads by innovation. First in high definition, first in handheld viewing, the finest underwater optics, the brightest, sharpest screens, the original underwater camera, and the fish finder that puts you on the fish.
explore Alexandria, Minnesota. Whether it's a long weekend or a week-long loaded with family fun, you'll find plenty of things to do in Alex. Unleash your inner explorer with over 300 lakes, beaches, parks, hundreds of miles of trails, dining, golf, shopping, museums, and history. Alexandria is Minnesota's hidden gem. Go to explorealex.com to find your vacation this season.
Welcome back to Angling Buzz. Let's head to the Detroit River with Captain Ben Wolf.
We're out here on the Detroit River and we've got a fantastic walleye run that's in mid-progress right now. Lots of really nice eater fish as well as some bigger fish are being caught all across the river in both U.S. waters as well as Canadian waters. It's been incredibly windy down here in the Detroit, including some extreme snowy weather, but you know, the fish are still here, they're being caught. The key is finding some cleaner water. If we can find that mud line or where the water is a little bit cleaner, we can find those active walleyes. You may have to hunt around a little bit on the river to find them, whether it's downstream or upstream, but either way, once you get on that pot of fish, it's a no-brainer and it's lights out fishing.
Yeah, that Detroit River walleye bite can be a lot of fun, but now we're gonna head over to Leech Lake with local guide Toby Cavalli-Bog.
Right now there's anywhere from 24 to 30 some inches of ice around Leech Lake, and it doesn't seem like it's ever going to go away, but already with the sun in the forecast, things are already melting. The snow's gone on top, it's starting to get darker, and it's pulling away from the edges, so things are happening fast. In fact, my prediction is the ice is going to be off before opener. So what does that mean? What are the walleyes going to be like this year on Leech Lake? Well, I tell you what, last year was fantastic, and I think it will be this year too. Throughout the year, we had no problem catching lots of keeper walleyes and some big ones too. So Leech Lake's going to be fantastic, and as soon as the ice offs, we're going to start chasing some perch, maybe some crappies, and when walleye opener happens, we'll give you the next Angling Buzz fishing report.
Now for our last report in Minnesota, we're going to head up even farther north to Lake Vermilion with Billy Rosner, where he's crossing his fingers for ice out on walleye opener.
Ma Nature threw a little curve at us this spring, but we're getting there. The water's starting to flow up here, and it won't be long now we'll have some open water. Vermilion's got some really great crappie fishing, and areas I like to focus on early would be your bays that are facing west or south. They typically warm up the fastest. Watch your water temperatures, watch your side imaging, and you should be able to get some good crappie action. Also, there's some really good jumbo perch out on the lake. Fish some of those traditional walleye spawning areas, and you should get into some nice jumbos. Shaping up to be another really great year up here in Vermilion. The DNR Creel Census survey turned out really good. A lot of those 14 to 15 inchers, that age class. And then Vermilion's got some really nice bigger fish too into that trophy size. So it's coming, just hang in there.
For our last report, we're going to head over to Green Bay, Wisconsin with Doug Wegner, where the walleye bite has been on fire.
We are kind of in the middle of our walleye season. We've got our early tribs like the Fox River, the Oconto River, and most of the fish in the Peshtigo are spawned out. We still have the Menominee River and all of Door County yet for our pre-spawn fish. So that's what's going on right now. As far as what we're catching our fish on, it's still Rippin' Raps. Number 6 Rippin' Raps have been the go-to. Catching a few fish on plastics, but the biggest fish are coming on Rippin' Raps. And they got a lot of really cool stuff coming forward. Sturgeon Bay has some giant fish, Menominee has giant fish. And if you just want to go catch a lot of fish and have fun, Oconto and Peshtigo just are loaded with fish right now. And as soon as they get done spawning, they're going to come out and they're just going to want to put the feed bag on. So if you guys want to get over to Green Bay, do it as soon as possible, and you could have some pretty good days in the water.
Yeah, Green Bay is a phenomenal multi-species fishery, and that early season walleye bite can be dynamite. Now stay tuned, because coming up, we have cool products, followed by Radco Rig Your Ride, and the technique of the week as Angling Buzz continues.
According to Minnesota's Department of Natural Resources, in 2017, 97% of boaters surveyed by watercraft inspectors followed Minnesota's clean, drain, dispose laws. Let's keep it this way. Clean aquatic plants and animals from boats, trailers, and equipment. Drain all water from watercraft, including the motor, and keep drain plugs out during transport. Dispose of unused bait properly. Together, we're preventing the spread of aquatic invasive species in Minnesota.
Lake Vermilion. Explore. Relax. Reconnect. Minnesota's most beautiful lake.
Get hooked on our trophy walleye,
That's a beauty.
bass,
My favorite fish.
musky fish,
That's a beauty there.
Things to do? You'll never get bored.
Rooms with a view? We got 'em. Lake Vermilion. 4 seasons of fun.
Running in rough water can be a pain, literally. Hey, I never knew how comfortable a ride could be until I added Smooth Moves to my boat. Its 4-spring design with hydraulic shock can smooth even the roughest of rides. With the built-in slide and swivel, you maintain all the function of your existing seat. A turn of the handle adjusts for conditions and passenger weight. Hey, it's easy to install and built to last. Smooth Moves, your back will thank you. I know mine does.
And now it's time for a cool product segment brought to you by Mills Fleet Farm. We are talking walleye. We're going to start out with some jigs. And right here from Northland Tackle, the Buckaroo jig. Really nice color, really nice design on these baits. As well as we move down the line here from VMC, the Neon Moon Eye jig. And also from Northland Tackle here, the Current Cutter jig. These would be great for live bait. You could also put soft plastics on this. And for swim baits, the Rage Swimmer from Strike King is excellent. This would work really well with the Moon Eye jig like that, putting it on there. Nice little colors, nice sizes, smaller sizes like this 2.75 inch and 3.75 inch. And you also have pre-rigged swim baits like the Storm 360 GT and the Northland Tackle Mimic Minnow. And moving to the center here, hard baits from Bagley. These are great for trolling, pulling behind planer boards. Really nice color, really nice designs. And for cold water walleye, well, we got to talk about Shad Wraps from Rapala. These are actually exclusive colors, only available at Mills Fleet Farm. And also some unique custom colors. These are Rapala Rip and Wraps from Viper Custom Tackle. So really, really cool stuff right there. And for line, a good braid. This is from Northland Tackle, the Bionic Walleye Braid. And for suffix, the Pro Mix, a really great low stretch monofilament. And from Onyx, this is a nice low profile belt pack. This is actually a nice little life preserver, the M16 belt pack from Onyx. And over here by Plano, the 3600 soft cider tackle bag. It's a nice compact design right here. So you have the little clips on the front. Holds a couple of the Plano boxes here, which is plenty of tackle for a day on the water. You also have a nice little shoulder strap as well, and a nice little handle on the top and pockets on the front. This is by Plano, the 3600 soft cider. And lastly, from St. Croix and from Daiwa, we have the Icon series, which are specifically designed for different techniques for walleye fishing. This one happens to be the snap jigging rod. This is a 6/8 medium power rod from St. Croix, and we're pairing it right here with the Daiwa Exceller LT 2500D. LT means light and tough. As you can see right here, you can see they take out some of the space inside here to make this real light. You have the Daiwa quality, so you know it's really tough. So this is from St. Croix and Daiwa, the Icon Snap Jig, and the Exceller LT 2500D. All these products are available at your local Mills Fleet Farm store, also online at fleetfarm.com. Now, before we go to our technique of the week, we have a special segment, Rig Your Ride, brought to you by Radco.
Your truck is more than just a commuter to get from here to there. Lots of us practically live in our trucks. They help us tow our boats, trailers, and gear to the next adventure. There's nothing more frustrating than having a messy cab and gear loosely scattered about with nowhere to keep it. So why not rig your ride? Here's a few awesome add-ons for your truck to keep things a little more clean and organized. Let's start with floor mats. Anyone who spends time in the woods or on the water knows your boots get muddy. Quality floor mats like WeatherTech Digital Fit floor liners help keep the carpet clean and make cleanup a breeze. Of course, your seats can take a beating with wet rain gear, kids, dogs, or spilled food from the last drive-thru. Protect your interior from the elements with a set of seat covers. We offer a variety of custom fit and universal seat protectors from manufacturers like Tiger Tough, Northwest Seat Covers, and SPG. How about having a permanent home for things in your truck rather than just a back seat? What about making use of the space under your seat? Radco has gearboxes from vendors like Duha and Husky to fit the specific make and model of your truck. Keep extra oil, straps, jumpers, even guns out of sight, organized, and easy to access. Your truck is where you spend a lot of time. It's easy to get it looking good and organized with a trip to Radco. And remember, when your truck looks good, you look good.
Oh, and he just popped off. Perfect, look at that, Mr. Walter. And he fell victim to a bait that is one of the most versatile tools that probably everybody has in their tackle box. It's a lipless crankbait. Let me show you this. Let me show you this guy here. Nice walleye, we've just been pounding them. They're out in a little bit deeper water here right now. I'm gonna get this back and share with you why I believe the lipless crank is such an awesome tool for catching walleyes and a lot of other different fish. Oh, there we go, sweet. Look at that, the big number 7 rip and wrap. And the great thing about rattle baits is their ability to fish so many different depth levels. Now, traditionally, a rattle bait is casted, reeled in, and shallow to mid-range depths. But we use the lipless crank for walleyes a lot of times on deeper structure. I'm talking 15, 20, 25, even 30 feet of water, and you fish the bait almost like you would a jig. You cast it out, let it hit the bottom, you rip it up, let it fall, rip it up, and it's that reaction bite. I guess a lot of people at this time have probably used the jig and wrap, which is a very effective tool for catching walleyes, especially in some deeper water situations, but the rattle bait is often overlooked. And when you get dirty water or you got really aggressive fish, this thing can trigger fish spring, summer, fall, and it's also a deadly bait for catching fish in the wintertime. Now I'm fishing it on an actual crankbait rod. You can fish this on a spinning rod or a bait casting rod. I personally prefer, with a heavier bait like this, to fish it on a soft rod. So this is St. Croix's Legend Glass. This is designed for throwing crankbaits, and the nice thing about it is it's got a nice bend in it. And the other thing you'll notice is I'm fishing monofilament. This is 12-pound mono. I like a really stretchy system with it. The baits have small hooks, and the bait is very heavy, so it's easy for them to throw the bait. So with a nice soft rod, monofilament line like this, you can really keep those fish pinned up. So next time you're on the water, you're looking for walleyes, don't overlook the lipless crankbait. It's a dynamite tool for catching a lot of fish.
Yes, rattle baits are highly effective for basically everything that swims, and they work throughout the entire season.
That's absolutely true, and it is one of my personal favorite presentations for covering water and finding fish quickly. Now make sure to tune in for next week's show, because we're going to be talking about spring fishing opportunities.
And also remember, anytime you leave any body of water, clean, drain, and dry to help stop the spread of aquatic invasive species.
And don't forget to check us out online at AnglingBuzz.com for the latest in fishing information from across our region.
And you can also enter our sweepstakes online to win an awesome weekend of fishing and fun on Leech Lake. Thank you for joining us. I'm Troy Lindner.
And I'm Nick Lindner. We will see you next week.
This week's Buzz Bite Report.
Tony Roach. Ray Brostone.
Lee Telkin here.
Topwater's been really fun.
Go to the plastics.
Bass like this.
A lot of walleyes like that.
Giant bluegills.
Good luck, everybody.
Have fun.
We'll see you next week.